whose unwavering support has been instrumental in shaping this intellectual education entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience at the intersection of higher education, technology, and social development. There is the founder and CEO of Future, a practitioner-led platform that partners with universities to strengthen institutional creativity and leadership, capital, and policy to globally benchmark education and sustainable outcomes. The promoter of the International Initiative Australia in 2004, building it into a multi-national education organization that has served. It is an honor to have you with us, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to announce our first guest of honor, Professor Rajendra P. Srivastava, Professor Emeritus of Accounting and Information System at the University of Kansas, USA, and former Ernst & Young Distinguished Professor and Director of the EY Center for Auditing Research and Advanced Technology. Holding dual PhDs in physics and accounting, Professor Srivastava is a globally renowned scholar with over 115 publications in leading journals and nearly 5,000 citations. So he's a pioneer in applying the Dempster-Shafer theory and AI to auditing and information systems, a recipient of several prestigious international awards, and an elected leader of the American Accounting Association. Professor Srivastava has joined us online from the US, and we are truly honored to have him with us today. We extend a warm welcome to you, Professor Srivastava.
Thank you very much. I am really pleased to join. So, yeah. Is that my time to speak? So please let me know. Hello? Namaste. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not able to be there.
Our next guest of honor is Professor Arun Kumar Atri, Principal of Shahid Bhagat Singh College, University of Delhi. He is expected to join us shortly. Our next guest of honor shall be Professor Anil Kumar Singh, sir, Director General, GSPSR, Delhi. Sir has been Professor of Commerce at Sri Aurobindo College, Evening, University of Delhi. He is a prolific scholar with several research articles and book chapters to his credit. Professor Singh has served in important academic and advisory roles, including as Vice Chancellor's nominee on the governing body of Nehru College of Education, Puducherry, and as a member of key committees of the University of Delhi. A warm welcome to you, sir. We now have our keynote speaker. Professor Ravinder Rena. May I request Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, sir, and Professor Anil Kumar Singh, sir, to formally welcome Professor Rena. Professor Rena is a distinguished global economist and academician with over 3 decades of teaching and research experience across Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Asian Pacific region. Sir is currently Professor of Economics at the Durban University of Technology, South Africa, and serves as adjunct and visiting professor at leading universities in South Africa, Russia, Switzerland, and India. A prolific scholar, editor, and keynote speaker, Professor Rena has authored over 10 books and 190 research articles, received numerous international awards, and is widely recognized for his contributions to development economics and global public policy. We extend a warm welcome to you, dear sir. We are honored to have amid us today an academic stalwart and chairman DSPSR, Professor BP Singh, sir. Professor Singh has been former head and dean at the Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, with over 4 decades of academic leadership. Sir is the architect of the coveted Master of Human Resource and Organizational Development and Master of International Business Programs at the Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. A towering academic whose legacy continues to inspire across generations, it is a proud moment to have Professor BP Singh, sir, amid us. A warm welcome to you, dear sir. Next, we have with us Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh. Sir is a Senior Professor and former Head and Dean at the Department of Commerce, Faculty of Commerce and Business, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Professor Singh is a former Vice Chancellor of Sri Sri University, immediate past President of the Indian Commerce Association, Chairperson of the Delhi University Sports Council, and Adhyaksh Delhi Prant Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal. Professor Singh is also the Secretary General Organizing Committee of the current conference. Sir has made significant contributions as a researcher, mentor, and academic leader at national and international levels. Among us, we have Professor Mahesh Sharma, who is currently Director with Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, having over 19 years of experience in academia, industry, and academic administration. With the felicitation of all our distinguished dignitaries complete, we now move to the next segment of the program. May we now invite on the podium Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Secretary General Organizing Committee, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. नमस्ते. आवाज आ रही है? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. We have very senior people today. One is online, Professor Rajendra P. Srivastav, who is Professor Emeritus of Accounting and Information Systems, School of Business, University of Kansas, Lawrence, USA. We have our chief guest, who is from United Kingdom now, after establishing a college in Australia. He is now testing waters in London. And when he would share with you, you will understand why he is here today as the chief guest of this program, valedictory session today. DSPSR is likely to sign up an MOU also with his venture that he is into to make sure that students from Delhi get something more in terms of international exposure, particularly in London or in Australia or any other government universities of these countries, which you generally aspire for. Having a dual degree kind of a concept. You can study 3 years in India, 4th year in London or Australia or somewhere, and can have dual degree also in 4 years time span. So that's a kind of unique proposition that he has developed. So a warm welcome to Dr. Manish Malhotra ji. Give a round of applause for his gracious presence he has flown, especially for our conference here. The guest of honor, Professor Ravinder Raina ji, who would be delivering the keynote address today, who has traveled from South Africa, who represent DUT Business School, Durban, University of Technology, Durban, Republic of South Africa. The Honorable Chairman of DSPSR, Professor BP Singh ji, who yesterday mentioned to you, he is 91 plus. Going strong. If you listen to him, you don't get the feel of 91 plus. You feel still the voice has so much of energy that it can inspire young minds. Professor Anil Kumar Singh ji, Professor Mahesh Sharma ji, other distinguished faculty members, organizing committee members, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, paper presenters, delegates. It is the 27th annual international conference. I was sharing with Dr. Manish Malhotra ji that when this college started in 1999, and within months we had our first international conference in Delhi. And it was in association with Indian Commerce Association, which is a body of commerce professionals founded in 1947. That was their first international conference that we organized at that time, along with Shahi Sukhdev College of Business Studies, Kirodimal College, and a few other colleges at that time of University of Delhi. And DSPSR continued this legacy since then, since 2000 January, we are continuing this. And we have been doing outside India also. In the European Union region, we have done a couple of conferences there also. They hosted our conferences in those countries. And maybe when we tie up with you, we may do one in London also in future. That may also happen. So these are also platforms where partnerships, MOUs, they are formalized, conceptualized, nurtured. That is the purpose of international conferences, not just academic enrichment or research sharing of your research output that you have, or to gain the experiences. One of the session chairs was saying that you are providing platform to young minds, and he has been, last year also he was here. So he said, I am seeing improvement also in the presentations, and the students are able to speak well. So congratulations to all the students who made presentation today. This is what the session chair was saying to me. So I'm conveying this to you. And I was also saying to Dr. Manish Malhotra that we announced the next year conference now. When we conclude in the valedictory session, generally we announce the next year conference, which is on January 9, 10, 2027. And the theme is Navigating the Future, Resilience, Reinvention, and Global Collaboration. And the technical sessions are Reinventing the Future with AI, quantum computing, and emerging technologies. Second is Societal Transformation through Innovation and Reinvention. Third is Empowering the Reservoir of Future Talents. Fourth is Global Collaboration for Shared Prosperity. And one session we generally keep research paper presentation on contemporary issues based on whatever research a student is undergoing as a scholar, PhD scholar, or as a student now in fourth year. The students are required to do publication also and present papers also. So it is from that perspective that one, we keep it open in the field of management, commerce, economics, technology, and all that. So all those topics are covered in this. And similarly, we have now one in June called International Seminar, 28th Annual International Seminar. This we keep now in online mode. That is on human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and Industry 5.0. Technical sessions are on human intelligence in the age of AI, challenges and opportunities, artificial intelligence in Industry 5.0, vision and directions, emerging dimensions of Industry 5.0 and future of work, responsible sustainable development in Industry 5.0, and again research paper presentation on contemporary issues. When we were talking to Dr. Manish just now, when he arrived, he was sharing next 5 years, the future of work would be entirely different. What we are seeing today will not probably be there in the future. So we have to get ready for all those things, be prepared as a. I think Professor Rajendra P. Srivastava is not able to hear. Just see the sound goes to him. Please make sure that he is able to hear properly.
Yes, I'm able to hear. Thank you.
Just check that. A video I have brought for you for the theme of this conference. You can run that video now.
Okay.
In Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, we say Shikshak और चाणक्य समान. That is the part of the statement of Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal. तो चाणक्य की कुछ statement हैं जो मैं आपके लिए वीडियो की फॉर्म में लाया हूँ. एक सीरियल भी आया था चाणक्य के नाम पे. सर्वे कृष्ण संतोष सर्वे संतोष सर्वे प्राण पश्यन्तु मां पश्यन्तु आत्मे. तो मेरे सज्जनों, अपने ही सज्जनों के हाथ को सम्मानित होने में गौरव का अनुभव होता है, प्रसन्नता भी होती है. एक विश्वगुप्त गौरव भूषित हो, न ही परिषद न ही शिक्षक के लिए गौरव की बात हो सकती है. शिक्षक व परिषद को गौरव भूषित तब होगी जब यह राष्ट्र गौरवशाली होगा, और यह राष्ट्र गौरवशाली तब होगा
जब यह राष्ट्र अपने जीवन मूल्यों व परंपराओं का निर्वाह करने में सफल व सक्षम हो। और यह राष्ट्र सफल व सक्षम तब होगा जब शिक्षक अपने उत्तरदायित्व का निर्वाह करने में सफल होगा। और शिक्षक सफल तब कहा जाएगा जब वह प्रत्येक व्यक्ति में राष्ट्रीय चरित्र का निर्माण करने में सफल हो। यदि व्यक्ति राष्ट्र भाव से शून्य है, राष्ट्र भाव से हीन है, अपनी राष्ट्रीयता के प्रति सजग नहीं है, तो यह शिक्षक की असफलता है। और हमारा अनुभव साक्षी है कि राष्ट्रीय चरित्र के अभाव में हमने अपने राष्ट्र को अपमानित होते देखा। हमारा अनुभव है कि शस्त्र से पहले हम शास्त्र के अभाव से पराजित हुए। हम शस्त्र और शास्त्र धारण करने वालों को राष्ट्रीयता का बोध नहीं करा पाए और व्यक्ति से पहले खंड खंड हमारी राष्ट्रीयता हुई। शिक्षक इस राष्ट्र की राष्ट्रीयता व सामर्थ्य को जागृत करने में असफल हो। शिक्षक पराजय स्वीकार कर ले तो पराजय का भाव राष्ट्र के लिए खत्म होगा। तथा वेद वंदना के साथ साथ राष्ट्र वंदना का स्तर भी दिशाओं में गूंजना आवश्यक है। व्यक्ति व्यवस्था को यह आभास कराना कि यदि व्यक्ति की राष्ट्र की उपासना में आस्था नहीं रही तो उपासना के अन्य मार्ग भी संघर्ष मुक्त नहीं रह पाएंगे। तथा व्यक्ति से व्यक्ति, व्यक्ति से समाज व समाज से राष्ट्र का एकीकरण आवश्यक है। अतः शीघ्र ही व्यक्ति, समाज व राष्ट्र को एक सूत्र में बांधना होगा और वह सूत्र राष्ट्रीयता ही हो सकती है। शिक्षक इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करे, वह शीघ्र ही राष्ट्र का निर्माण करने के लिए संभव है कि आप समाज में बांधे आएंगे, पर शिक्षक को उन पर विजय पानी होगी और आवश्यकता पड़े तो शिक्षक शस्त्र उठाने में भी पीछे ना। मैं स्वीकार करता हूं कि शिक्षक का सामर्थ्य शास्त्र है। यदि मार्ग में शस्त्र बाधक हो और राष्ट्र मार्ग के कंटक शस्त्र की भाषा समझते हो तो शिक्षक उन्हें अपने सामर्थ्य का परिचय अवश्य दे। सामर्थ्य शिक्षक अपने शास्त्रों की रक्षा नहीं कर पाए। संभव है कि इस राष्ट्र को एक सूत्र में बांधने के लिए शिक्षक को सत्ताओं से मिलना पड़े, पर स्मरण रहे कि सत्ताओं से राष्ट्र महत्वपूर्ण है। राजनीतिक सत्ताओं के हितों से राष्ट्र के हित महत्वपूर्ण है। अतः राष्ट्र की वेदी पर सत्ताओं की आहुति देनी पड़े तो भी शिक्षक संकोच न करे। इतिहास साक्षी है कि सत्ता व स्वार्थ की राजनीति ने इस राष्ट्र का अहित किया है। हमें अब सिर्फ इस राष्ट्र का विचार करना है। यदि शासन सहयोग दे तो ठीक, अन्यथा शिक्षक अपने पूर्वजों के पुण्य व कीर्ति का स्मरण कर अपने उत्तरदायित्व का निर्वाह करने में सिद्ध हो। विजय निश्चित। सत्य सिंधु की संस्कृति की विजय निश्चित है। विजय निश्चित है इस राष्ट्र के जीवन मूल्यों की। विजय निश्चित है इस राष्ट्र की। आवश्यकता मात्र आवाहन की है।
कुछ दिल को छुआ? अगर छुआ तो ताली बजा सकते हैं। कुछ को झकझोरा, कुछ को छुआ। नेशनल डेवलपमेंट रोल ऑफ एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस। मुझे ये बहुत एप्ट 2-3 मिनट लगे कि आपको सुनना चाहिए चाणक्य ने क्या बोला, कैसे झक इसमें ऐसे महान गुरुओं का बहुत योगदान है। मैंने पिछले इनॉग्रल सेशन में आपको अध्यापक से उससे आप उसको मैप कर सकते हैं। शास्त्री वो होता है जो इंसाइट दे पाता है आपको, तो एनालाइज से आप मैप कर सकते हैं उसको ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी की। और पंडित वो होता है जो इवैल्यूएट भी कर सके, तो वो विजडम जिसके पास हो वो पंडित कहा जाता है हमारे शास्त्रों के हिसाब से। तो और दृष्टा वो है जो फ्यूचर को भी देख सके, क्रिएटिविटी जिसमें हो। तो हाईएस्ट लेवल ऑफ ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी वहां जाके रुक जाती है कि जो सृजन कर सकता है, कुछ क्रिएट कर सकता है, कुछ निर्माण कर सकता है, वो क्रिएट वाले में आता है, वो दृष्टा का श्रेणी दिया उसको जो है। और उससे ऊपर मैंने पिछली बार भी कहा था, जो अवेकन कर सके आपको, जो जगा सके आपको, वो जो है गुरु है। गुरु के बिना अवेकनिंग होना मुश्किल है, आत्म साक्षात्कार होना मुश्किल है। जो मैस्लो की नीड हायरार्की थ्योरी में सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन, और उसके बाद जो उसने समझा spiritual needs are the sixth level of needs, highest level of needs, what he could realize later on. आप लोगों की बुक्स में जो अक्सर पढ़ाया जाता है वो सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन तक ही पढ़ाया जाता है, but he realized that spiritual needs are higher than that. So guru is someone who is able to take you to that level of yourself that you can realize your own self. अपने आप से आत्म साक्षात्कार कराने की जो प्रक्रिया है वो गुरु के बिना हो नहीं सकती जो है। तो एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस का रोल जो है, शस्त्र उठाना हो तो छात्र उसमें सक्षम हो, शास्त्र में भी सक्षम हो, दोनों तरह से बुद्धि भी चले, और शस्त्र चलाने की जरूरत पड़े तो उसमें भी हाथ कांपे ना उसके जो है। ये मैसेज था अभी जो दिया आपने चाणक्य की आवाज में सुना अभी जो वीडियो जो थी। तो ऐसे एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस हों जो कि राष्ट्र निर्माण में चरित्र निर्माण कर सकें अपने विद्यार्थियों का, वैसे एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस की जरूरत है, वैसे टीचर्स की जरूरत है, वैसे गुरुओं की जरूरत है। विद दिस नोट आई वंस अगेन वेलकम टू द वैलिडिक्टरी सेशन टू ईच वन ऑफ यू। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir, for your warm and wisdom-laden address. It is time now to request our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Rajendra P. Srivastava, Professor Emeritus of Accounting and Information Systems, School of Business, University of Kansas, USA, who has joined us online to address the gathering.
Please allow me to share the screen. Can I share my screen now? Yes?
Ask you to unmute it.
Hello? May I share my screen? Yes? Can you see my screen? Hello? Hello, please allow me to share my screen. Hello? 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 Yeah, so I'm saying, can you hear me? I think there must be. No, but I think, oh, yes, I was able to hear you all through the Zoom. What about sharing the screen? I need to share the screen. Okay, so okay, so share the screen, yes. Send a request, I see, okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes, now? What about sound? Sound is not. Okay. Yes? Hmm. I share the screen. Okay, now let's see. Can you see now? Okay, what about the sound? Is it coming through the system or not? I think it should. Share. Yeah. External microphone. No. I can hear myself. So yeah. Okay. Now I hear some sound.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Only
Well-
able to hear me.
Okay. हाँ कान में है. Should I take it off or? Okay. Now can you hear me? It's better. Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm sorry that I am not able to be there physically. The reason being that yesterday was one of my very special day. The Indian Accounting Association Research Foundation honored me by inducting into Hall of Fame in Accounting 2005. And so I wanted to come here in Calcutta. So I'm missing being there physically. And the topic of your conference is very relevant, timely, and important, and very close to my heart. Role of educational institutions in national, nation development. So I have few slides to share. It has been already established. I think Professor Ajay Kumar Singh has already mentioned some of these things. Education in general impacts society. It brings prosperity in individual, and also educated society is a lot more prosperous. It has been shown that educated society is healthier, has much longer life than otherwise. It creates a just society, civil society. It reduces crime, brings democratic value, and of course, it builds intellectual wealth for the nation. So there are some very interesting slides. I will not go through that given the time constraint, but I'll show you some slide. And here is one. I don't know if you can see. This is about 1964. China was just coming there. The level of education, 3.5 years, and very little per capita productivity or income. But US, you can see here at the top. 10, 11, or 12 on average schooling years. And now next, this one, India is just showing up here in 1980. Again, very low output productivity. China is, at least in terms of the education, close to 6 years, but not much difference in terms of the output production. US is still far up. But if you look at further in 2000, India is catching up closer to China, but US is still at the top. And I looked at 2010, again, closer distance, but still US is very high. 25, that means current year, is still US is pretty high in terms of the productivity output. India and China is still behind, but coming closer. Also, there's data on health, and means in terms of longevity, how many average years people live in particular country. And this plot shows the number of years of education. So you can see the higher the education level, then higher is the life expectancy. There are other factors, but in general, it simply means that educated society has a better health. Now, what is the role of educational institutions? Of course, to create future thinkers, leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs. Another aspect is create knowledge for society. That is very important aspect of our, especially higher academic institutions, universities, and schools like SPRS. That is what we should create knowledge, then it creates, of course, in return, national wealth, harmonious society, and all that. It creates equal opportunity for everyone. And so, as in academic institutions, we have to create an environment where critical thinkers are produced who can solve problems, critical problems, with analytical abilities, be able to communicate orally, written, and through the digital media. Of course, we should instill ethical values, integrity, and culture. Need of the society also we have to take care, in the sense that as educational institutions, we have to see what are the needs of our society, the teachers, nurses, doctors, engineers, lawyers, and all that. And Professor Ajay Kumar Singh ji showed Chanakya that video. It is wonderful, perfect, but I feel that that is the idealistic society, means where everybody is committed and goes along with our principles of Gita. But the world is different. We live in a real world, and so we have to think how to manage individuals, human beings, their creativity in the real world environment, because we are all human beings and we work for our best interest. And so there are individuals in India who are really committed, dedicated teachers. I have had some of those. But the things are changing. We need to have incentive, both positive and negative, that creates the right environment. Now, one thing I see DSPSR is doing the right thing in terms of creating a right environment where the right values are instilled, an opportunity for young people to think critically. By having these conferences also, it provides opportunity to be exposed to new ideas, new things, and how to do new things. And given the changes that is happening by big data, technology, AI, and all that, I think this kind of environment provides opportunity for young minds to learn and maybe think about it, how they can contribute to those aspects. Now, human resource development, I think Professor Singh talked about it. Uh, the educational institutions provide, and in fact, there's a role of government too. They have to provide the infrastructure, they have to provide the financial resources in some cases, create universities, create opportunities. Whether it is private institutions or public institutions, you have to have opportunity where you collaborate with outside world, means outside of India. And I think your institution is DSPSR is already doing it, and I'm very pleased to see that. But what is important here is the build that reward system where individuals are encouraged to have the right behavior. Means when they are talking about teaching, they do the good teaching where students are challenged. At the same time, they learn the subject matter. And so I see the difference between where I am right now in US and what I was in India, and even now I interact. I think just the promotion and tenure ought to be based on performance. And the time-bound promotion and tenure has some concern, and I may not like to go into the details, but there is a disincentive to be creative, because we in our environment, our annual raises are promotion tenure based on performance, period. Nothing kind of time bound or nothing on cost of living. It is based on your performance. So research is evaluated by the faculty members and teaching is evaluated by students, and both are considered in that process. So if it was an ideal teacher, you don't need this. I mean, so our rishis were dedicated people. They didn't live in the material world. So they were committed to transfer the knowledge wholeheartedly to their students. And students also were committed to put their heart into learning. But things are different now. It is a material world. And so we have to develop a way to inculcate that kind of behavior. And so the institutions need to hire right people with merit, retain those individuals, reward those individuals, promote those individuals. And some of these things have to be based on objective measure of performance. I think I'll just mention a few words about it. I think some of you may have seen this. These creatures, you see big antenna, well, they play two roles. One, these antenna is to communicate with other similar kind of living beings, and the other is to monitor risk. So we live in a business environment. We are talking about the business education. Business entities ought to develop a way to monitor their risk and then have controls in place to manage that risk. And so AI plays an important role right now. Means we are in a transition phase that all those business intelligence that used to be analytical models, now AI tools are being developed and trained. But one thing that I want to make you aware of, that these AI tools are based on past experience. And so if there is something that is new, it will not know, or something that may happen, it will not know. So you cannot just take AI to be the ideal way to assess risk, because certain risk it may not have seen, and since it is based on the past performance, it will not be good to predict the future risk. So we have to analyze and develop models and integrate that into AI, and that is the challenge that new environment has. And as a teacher, I have to be equipped. If I want to train my students to use AI, I have to be knowledgeable about it. So that means I have to put my effort to learn these new tools and technology to be able to train my students. So the role of the academic institution is to provide opportunity for these faculty members, visit different places, go to industry, spend some time there, or work with other in collaboration with industry people to learn the technology and then bring that into the classroom. And we have had that in states. When I started teaching auditing, I had no background in auditing, but I used to work with the industry. I will visit them, bring them to my classroom, and through interaction, I was able to develop the expertise that I needed and publish all those articles. And so I think educational institutions have a responsibility to provide opportunity to faculty members to get this background, and the faculty members have a responsibility to learn that tool and then deliver that in the classroom. And again, the problem is of incentive. Means if I'm not forced, sometime I take the easy way. And so we have to think about it. There are a lot of papers that I have worked on in uncertainty and risk management. I will not go through that. Now AI, which you all may think that this is the recent phenomena, it is not. This is a 1988 paper by Gordon and Shortleaf. These two individuals, they were professors. One was a professor in computer science, and other was in medical school at Stanford. They are the first one to develop this AI technology. Means they wanted computer to diagnose common ailment in human beings. And so they went and collected evidence to make decision that what is the problem with this person. So it was like a very simple case of deciding whether somebody got cold or bronchitis or what is the problem. And they found that uncertainty in the evidence, they could not use traditional thinking of probability to model that. And they said that the work by Dempster Schaefer work was more relevant to model this uncertainty in the evidence. Schaefer was my colleague. Dempster is at Harvard. So Schaefer made this framework much more understandable. And he published a book in 76 on theory of mathematical theory of evidence. So since I was his colleague, I saw the value and applied to audit domain. And you may have seen a lot of work in that area that I have done over 30 years or so. And evidential reasoning with evidence, it is relevant in law, auditing, medical science. Anywhere you go, evidence is how you make the decision. But the problem is that evidence has such a kind of uncertainty that traditional theory doesn't work. And so, here is one example. Is in a healthcare industry, account receivable, if you want to do audit, the green ones are different objectives. So the evidence is at all different levels. So it becomes a big network. And so I developed it and published the work. Accounting firms are using this approach to develop AI tools in audit domain. But saying that the auditors has the sixth sense to put everything together to say everything is fine is not easy. I mean, they can defend it that I have worked for 20 years in the audit profession, so I know that. But having a much more structured approach, it makes sense. So some of my work actually in this area is used by some of the accounting firms to develop AI tools. I will not go into that. This is just another. Then I think Professor Singh knows, Ajay Kumarji, I have developed technology that now helps develop AI tools, because AI tools based on the historical data. So here is some 30, 40 million documents, and accounting, the educational institutions like University of Chicago and all that, using our framework to text mine the information and then build AI tools. I will not go into that. I will just show you something that if somebody is trying to falsify information, they will make it more difficult to understand. So here is Enron committed big fraud, and here is Microsoft. Enron data was a lot more difficult to understand, actually, the annual report compared to Microsoft. Here is the one Satyam. You probably know Satyam. The chairman misstated cash by $1.4 billion. Their statement was all the way more complicated to understand than Wipro, which is a similar company. And so there are a lot of ways to develop these models. I will not go into the details given the time constraint. And some schools, I think University of Delhi is subscribing it. I will be happy to give free access to DSPSR students and MBA student faculty. We have Indian data too. So think about developing models like financial risk based on what they say in the statement, already developed for US kind of environment. But we have already Indian data, and I would like some of you, faculty and students, to think about what represents the financial risk, and you do the text mining and develop it. Same thing, litigation risk, tax risk is very interesting. They develop a model based on how many times they say certain things that relates to tax violation. They counted that and developed the model, tested it, validated it for US environment. It will be interesting to do the same thing using the Indian filings and think about what are the key words and phrases that could be used where they are really not paying fair share of their taxes. And here is the change in their reporting. The big dip is the year when this company, this Bancorp Incorporation, they committed fraud. So if you just look at their annual report and how it is changing from year to year to year to year, you can see the year they committed fraud big. So there are a lot of interesting research opportunity. So I will, I stop here. There are some 3 different databases that I was involved in developing, and it is available for research globally all over the world. I will not go into the details. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So, thank you so much for the opportunity to share my work. It is very exciting to see DSPSR, how they are really involving their students and creating the right environment for them to flourish and be creative and be challenged. So thank you all very much. Question? Did you all hear all that? Okay. So so thank you very much, and if there are any question, I'll be happy to answer. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Ranaji, Manish Sharmaji. I'll start where from I think in between I was most of the things were covered by Srivastava. I think my inaugural address, many of the things were taken care of with the figures, and so things were now validated from USA. What I said earlier, only thing is that I was more critical. He is not. But coming to the main theme, that look at the Srivastava's the table. He was talking about that India and China, they were far away. There was a difference, gap in terms of infrastructure, in terms of number of students. Basically, I think when we are talking about education, we are talking in terms of quantity. So quantity of students. I remember my career. I started my career in 1982. In 1985, I joined a college, which was, I think, thereafter no other college was opened in Delhi University. So Delhi University, there was then the era of private universities started. So number of students have increased, but number of public institutions remain stick to that very level. Only thing is that in 2007, when there was an increase of 50% seats in Delhi University, and thereafter, I think during this government regime, there was an increase of another 30%. So it's not 80, it's more than 80. So these number of seats have increased, not only in Delhi, but all over India. So roughly about, so in the meantime, if you look at the table very carefully, you'll find that Srivastava has given. Then by 2000, the gap between China and India was lesser. Mainly because the private universities, they have turned up in the education arena and in a very big way. If you look at Delhi and around, you will find that IP University has more number of colleges, not in terms of intake. Intake is Delhi University is higher, but IP University has more number of colleges. Apart from that, there are a number of universities which were opened up. So that is a change that has taken place in terms of education. Because this conference is on education, so I will focus on education. Impact is, look at the whole world. Vice President of USA, Indian, from Indian origin. Prime Minister of England, from Indian origin. There was whole cabinet practically 2-3 members, they were from the Indian origin, and in America, the number is much higher in terms of those who are working as secretary or below secretary and advisor to the group. If you look at the crisis in USA, most of the things are done by the Indians only. जो आज problem हम face कर रहे हैं, half of the things are being done those who are from Indian origin. So they are being educated in India or in US. So education is one thing which is, I think, Indian community is the richest community in USA. Not because they have a lot of money, because they were educated, they have the brain. So the brain power has changed the whole scenario and the whole things. So that, because things don't, I always say all the conferences on the national development and all these things, that we have to think internationally. January में by chance मैं अभी आया हूँ in this year. The country, we are in a very bad shape. War is on there's a war going on 4 years in one country. There's another war of Israel, Hamas, another. There are few nations which are beneficiaries of that war. Because those who are rich from Russia, from other areas, they shifted to those countries. Reason being that the taxes are lower, other things, other benefits are there. So they shift from those very nations. So who is going to be loser beneficiary? I'm not going into the war scenario, but thing is that if the country provide adequate opportunities, country may be beneficiaries. So India has one advantage that they have created IIT, IIMs and other things. And that led to a situation in which, whereby most the people, the richest community in the US is India. So that is a change. And that is mainly because of our education institutions. So education institutions play a very big role in terms of economic development, whether it's China, whether it's India, whether it's US. And US believes in immigration policy. So, and that makes them richer. That richest person is not from US, he has shifted from somewhere. So that is the scenario. And because there is a time constraint and I'm told that not to speak, so I'm putting my words here. So, अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हुए धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. May we now invite our keynote speaker, Professor Ravinder Raina, from the Durban University of Technology Business School, Durban, Republic of South Africa, to deliver his keynote address.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely a proud privilege for me to be part of this international conference, 27th International Conference organized by Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research. I'd like to thank the respected chairperson, Professor B.B. Singh sir, who always treat me like his son and like he's one of the disciples. And I would like to thank Professor Ajay Kumar Singh sir, the Secretary General of the DSPSR and the Chief Patron of this conference, Professor Anil Kumar Singh sir, the Director General of DSPSR, and Professor Mahesh Sharmaji, the Director of DSPSR, and Professor Manish Malhotraji, the Chief Guest of this particular function, and also our Guruji. He was with us last year. We were together on this dais. Professor Srivatsavaji, Rajendra Srivatsavaji, who we listened to his speech just now. So, and also all our students and faculty members and dignitaries of the dais from different corners. So thank you for the opportunity. It has been more than a decade that I've been here on this particular forum every year without missing one single event. Even during the pandemic also, I was online probably a couple of times, but remaining times I always make sure that I come to Delhi to attend this important forum. So ladies and gentlemen, the topic that was chosen today is very important and pertinent for all of us sitting here or who are not sitting here with us also is equally important. The national development and the role of educational institutions. I can speak about 2 hours on this topic, but in the interest of time, I was given only 15 minutes, out of which 2 minutes gone. Education is an important activity in everybody's lifetime. Education plays an important role in every segment or every sector of this economy. For example, if you look at health, you look at engineering, you look at science, technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, whatever we talk about, medical sciences, education plays an important role. It transforms the society, it also reduces the poverty, it also promotes the economic growth, and so on and so forth. That's what the education is all about. The education that we see today, ladies and gentlemen, is basically just getting the certificate, or the degree, or master's degree, or the PhD degree, or diploma certificates. So the educational institutions in the world today become the paper producers more than the knowledge or the skill developers or skill promoters. We have seen India for the past 79 years down the line. We have seen the huge changes that have occurred in our Indian subcontinent, where we had only few dozens of institutions in our country when India got independence. And by 2012, the number of institutions, particularly the universities in India, gone up to 600. And today in 2026, early part, the numbers are more than 1,200 universities, more than 50,000 colleges that are in existence in our mid-our country. What does it mean to us? Are we are talking too much about innovation, entrepreneurship, technology development, technology transfer, digitalizations, AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques from time to time. But are we really trying to impart the knowledge, the dexterity that is needed to the young generation of this country or this world? We need to talk about that. So we have plenty of institutions. The number of private institutions are exceeding the public sector institutions, particularly at the university level, as we have seen. But what about the skill development? There's a saying that the knowledge without the skill is only a theory. We are producing the theoreticians, we are producing the people who do not have semi-skill or who do not have no skill at all. So that is the point we need to focus on. India has been the fourth largest economy in the world for the past few months. We surpassed Japan, which was the fourth largest economy. In fact, the second largest economy quite some time. Second became third, and third became fourth. Now Japan became fifth largest economy. So our educational institutions have been definitely playing an important role. Particularly, we have institutions like IIMs and IITs, which we all consider they are the two eyes of India. So they are as important as the eyes to human beings to the country that is India. That's what they are. All these IITs and IIMs, they produce hundreds and thousands of students every year. What is happening to them? Where are they? how many of them are really working for the India, for Indians? When these students, they have studied at the cost of you, me, and all of us here. Where they are now, what is the percentage of those IITs and IIM students or who graduated? Where are they going? Realistically, looking at the statistics, ladies and gentlemen, 90% of them are not there in India. They are in different parts of the world, particularly in US and Europe, Australia, and so on and so on. The simple reason it could be, there could be a number of reasons, but if you look at the financial side, if the same IITian or IIM student who is employed by Indian organizations like ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, Mark Baba Atomic Research Center, or probably DRDL, Defense Research and Development Laboratories. What is the salary that we are paying to them? We are paying probably about 1 lakh to 1,20,000 rupees max. The same person who is going to USA, he could get about 20 lakhs rupees per month easily, or minimum 10 lakhs rupees per month. So there are a lot of those youngsters in minds who are supposed to work and serve India. They left the country in the name of brain drain and the brain gain. So this is what is happening, and we have the best institutions in our country that has been proven. That is why our colleagues were also mentioning about that the Indians, if you look at the top 20 multinational companies owned by USA, majority of those companies are run by Indians as CEOs. So we have proven to the world that we produce the best human resources, but the human resources that we are exporting, we still need the human resources to serve India, to take India to the next level. Maybe 2047, which it was, we are talking about. In order to take India to the next level, that is, India is a developed country, we need more than 3 million technocrats right now, badly needed by us. There are people from Europe, there are people from other countries, they are also coming and working in India, whereas our people who have been graduated, they are looking for the opportunities outside India. The basic reason is that the skill set. The skills that we're supposed to have for our graduates who graduated with a BTech degree and a BBA degree or Bachelor of Computer Science, BCA degree, or whatsoever Master's or PhD degrees, they do not have in par with the degree certificate, the skill set that they're supposed to have. In the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to mention that if you look at the PhDs, Doctor of Philosophies, America is the largest producer of PhDs in the world every year. They produce 70,000 PhDs on an average per year. Whereas India, of course, China is also producing probably more than 40,000 PhDs, whereas India is producing almost 27 to 28,000 PhDs every year. Last year in 2024-25 academic year, we produced 26,000 PhDs in our country. So 26,000 PhDs, that is, could be the more than the population of country like Monaco, country like Vatican City, and few other countries like San Marino, by and large, for 30,000 population. So we produce the PhD degree holders more than the population of certain existing countries in the world. But what do they mean to us? The PhDs, what do they mean? Whether they bring us any kind of dexterity, any kind of product design, product development, product innovations, we need to question ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I was reading an article recently that says that in order for you to graduate from China, you need to either produce something which is not in existence, You need to design a product, you need to develop a product, and you need to make sure that you brought something new to this world. Then you will graduate with a certificate. How many of our institutions, including IITs and IIMs, they could able to practice this? Is it not the best practice? China is our competitor, and China is our neighbor. Doesn't mean that we are appraising China, but we need to appreciate whoever do the best practices. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all need to change our existing knowledge systems, the knowledge transfer systems. Whatever I studied about 35, 40 years ago, our students also studying the same thing, unfortunately now, the same way. We do have 4 categories of teachers. The first category of teacher just tells, and that category of teacher is mediocre teacher or average teachers. Unfortunately, majority of our teachers all over the world, they are sitting with the first category because they are mediocre teachers, they're also average teachers. The second category teachers are good teachers. They can explain. And there are few good teachers that are in existence. The third category teachers, they demonstrate. And there are also very few, seldom we find. And the last category of teachers, ladies and gentlemen, the best teachers who inspire. Who inspire not only the current students in the classroom environment, but wherever they go, whatever they do, with their simplicity, with their knowledge, with their wisdom, they inspire. Now, Professor B.P. Singh ji, he inspired generations and generations of students. There are students that are being taught by him directly, including our principal of this beloved college, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya College, Professor Jain Saab, Hemchand Jain, and many thousands and thousands of students that he produced while he was working as a professor at Delhi School of Economics, Commerce faculty. As he was sharing his experiences yesterday, 1959, until recently, he produced or he played a vital role in producing some students. Many of them, they spread across the globe and they remember him. That is called inspiration. I was also touched by his simplicity, his love and care. And that is the reason I always make sure that I do come to this particular important event every year. This is what is called inspiration. So, ladies and gentlemen, how many teachers are able to inspire the students? How many teachers could able to disseminate their knowledge and wisdom to the younger generations? We need to change ourselves as teachers, and the students also need to change yourself. That there is a huge responsibility bestowed upon you, not only by your parents, but importantly by the society, by the country. You are the future of this world. You are the future of this country. There are so many things that you could able to do. What you could able to have today in your hand, I do not have it for 30 plus years ago. You have the ChatGPT in hand today. I never even think of ChatGPT 2 decades back. Ladies and gentlemen, ChatGPT is there to support you, guide you, provide you the additional kind of benefit and support. But ChatGPT cannot be replaced by the human being. Or human being cannot be replaced by the ChatGPT. Now, what is the role of educational institution here when you have the ChatGPT in hand? All the assignments, all the dissertations, all the PhD thesis and research projects are being prepared by ChatGPT, unfortunately. I would like to remind everybody, all the youngsters sitting here, that your brain is more powerful than ChatGPT itself. Most of you do not know the capacity of the brain that you have, which can memorize, which can keep the storage memory of 2.5 million gigabytes of memory. That is equal to 2.5 petabytes. If you begin to use, forget about 1%, you put 0.100 zeros and put 1 there. And if you put that much, if you could able to use that much brain of your own, you could be one of the best human beings. You are one of the best intellect. So let us try to use our own brains, which are original. We are not supposed to depending upon artificial intelligence, which is artificially created, which is not natural, which is not original. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the last word the suggestion I would like to give to the youngsters, I don't use ChatGPT. I don't know how to use ChatGPT. And all our professors here who could depend upon the mind better than the PPTs. So therefore, use the ChatGPT to use the devices, technological advancements to facilitate, to improve your capacities, but not diminish your memory, but not ruin you as a student. It is absolutely difficult for the world today to understand who is original, who is duplicate. So you need to establish a fine silver line where you can prove yourself you are better than the ChatGPT. So with these few words, I'd like to thank the organizers for providing me this opportunity. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Raina, for the enlightening address and for sharing your valuable perspectives with us. Your words have added great depth to today's deliberations, and we are truly grateful for your presence. We now invite our chief guest, Dr. Manish Malhotra, Chairman and Founder, Australian Technical and Management College, Australia, to address the gathering.
A very good afternoon to all of you. First, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this opportunity to be here. It's my first time in this conference, and I'm very delighted to see the progress, the great work this organization has done over the last 25 years. It's fantastic to actually meet industry legend like Professor BP Sharma or BP Singh ji. And then it's great to connect with everyone here. So I welcome you all to listen to this. So I'll rather than kind of talking about this, I'll talk about my journey and my experiences in the education space. Now, I was born in Delhi. I did my school in Delhi. And then after that, I went to Australia. I got an opportunity to go and study my university in Australia. When I went there, I think I was very typical character in Delhi, where I loved computer science. I couldn't get into IIT. I have to go somewhere. I kept eating my mom and dad's brain that, I just want to go out. I want to go out and study. Computer science was very new when I'm talking about like almost 30 years back. So computer science was new. I wanted to kind of study in computer science. So somehow my parents were very middle class family. So they decided, okay, it's your problem, your call, you go there. And I moved to Australia. Now, when I went there, the education was very, very different to the school days I used to go to. Indian school was very different. We all were spoon-fed. Tuitions were everywhere. It was all about getting marks in year 12 and so on, so on. So I went in there and the university was very different experience. To actually talk to a professor, it was, what will I say, it's a privilege. A professor will come, he'll be in a class, he'll disappear. You can't find a professor. You have to write to the professor, you have to talk to them, and so on, so on. So I think one thing which I learned very early in my life, and this is, I'm talking about, again, almost 27, 28 years back, that if you want to learn, you need to be a self-learner first. You will get some sort of information, your professors will talk about some sort of concept, but you need to bring the discipline back into your life and be a lifelong learner. So I stayed in the university space. I was quite attracted to the whole education philosophy, and I just continued studying in Australia in my university. I went in to then do a real computer programmer job. Then what I found that there was again an academic connection back to it. If you do the same research component in the university, then the government was funding all of that. So I came back to the university and I did my PhD based on the actual industrial project. So I was working in a software which was in computers, which was logistical software. Google Maps were not there yet. And we kind of kept working on that and got a PhD. So that was another exposure to me very early in my life, that you can actually build up an academic PhD or academic content, academic qualification based out of experience. So this is, again, I'm talking about back in 2001, 2002, and so on. So I finished my PhD, and as a part of the PhD, I was supposed to teach as well. So I quite liked teaching, and I was very entrepreneurial from day one. So I started my own college in Australia. I started my own college. The problem was that how do I attract students then? Okay, so I've got an international college. How do I attract students? So I started a program in 2004. So I started a college course. So I think that again taught me one thing, that, how do you identify gaps in the market? So in 2004, we started this program. You study first year in India and 2 years in Australia to finish your bachelor's degree. So we started that in 4 cities in India, and we got 75 students to do this program. And then they all came, and I opened a university affiliated campus in Australia in 2005 with that. Now I'll fast forward 2019. We were the largest university college. We were, in spite of becoming the largest university college in Australia, I decided to walk out of the colleges. And I tell you why we decided that. So we had a lot of students studying bachelor's and master's and everything. There were a few things that happened in Australia at that time, which are happening in India right now. And I can see the effect of that. In 2012 or 2013, the Australian government said coming to campus is not a mandatory thing. You will not be counted by attendance. Now, I travel a lot in India these days to a lot of institutions, and everyone say, we have a very strong discipline. Attendance is compulsory. We want to make sure that attendance, if you do not do a minimum number of attendance, then you will not be allowed to sit in an exam or something. I am not used to that system for 15 years now. My colleges, under the Australian government, all the colleges were said, if you are academically proving yourself, you do not need to come to the campus, right? The campus, the qualification needs to have that value. So what happened when you do that? Of course, every student will start questioning, if I'm going to a campus, is there a value for me to go to the campus? So that was the first thing that happened during that period. The second thing that happened during that period was a lot of content came on the internet. A lot of content. I'm talking about 2014. You can pick up any professor from anywhere in the world, and they'll be giving a free something on YouTube. So first side, you're not now required to go to the campus. Second side, there is a digital boom of the contents. And then the third thing came up. The third thing came up was in Australia, they started having a private higher education colleges, which is like, a lot of them became private, and the bachelor's or master became a commodity. So all of these things put together kind of made me realize that the face-to-face education was not going strong. So in 2019, I spent a lot of time at Oxford University at Syed Business School, and I was a part of Royal Children association. So, so when I did that scenario planning program at Oxford, one of the things I observed, I was being part of the Royal Children Foundation. That foundation was finishing 100 years at that time. 100 years in that year, and they were not able to sustain themselves because the purpose that they started was finished with the advancement of technology. So that made me realize that our education today will be transforming into something very, very different. And this was in 2019. So keeping that in mind, I moved to London and I started an edtech company there. Now, the company that I started in London was nothing to do with the higher education, was only about one thing, that how do you learn without the books? How do you learn without theory in practice? So then we created something which is, can you learn by solving a problem? So if there is an industry problem that you are solving with an industry expert, with an academic along with you supervising, can you learn faster? Can you learn a lot more exponentially? So I spent a lot of years doing that. But then there was COVID, there was huge push of the digital areas. And then, of course, there was ChatGPTs of the world, right? And then there's AI and all of that. So the company who invested in my London venture, that university, an Australian university, bought that company and I moved to the next one. So I started this new company which talks about, is it really important to even solve something? Because today, what you are solving, who knows that you are solving it yourself or you are using a lot of AI tools to solve this. So we didn't want to stay. So I've spent a lot of years in making sure learn happens properly. Then my edtech venture was, can you solve it and learn through it? But this one, we decided that we want to extend the boundary. So what we did, we created a new pedagogy for us. And the pedagogy for us, where we build all the courses, everything now on that, is we put the third dimension to it. The third dimension that we do now is that you have learned or you have solved and learned from that. But can you defend your solution? The biggest problem right now, I think, and going forward, is not that what you can learn or can you actually solve something. You all will be going in a job. And I mean, there are so many reports that make you very, very worried person. So I'm really glad that I'm not sitting on your side, because I think you guys really need to work harder these days and need to be adaptive right now, because the technology advancements are going to be absolutely immense. I was in another state yesterday. I just flew into Delhi. I was sitting with the government of the other state I was in India, and they was talking about how they're trying to create factories and skilled workers in the factory. And the more skilled workers they will have, the more industries that they can have. This is a conversation that is not happening in China right now. China is not even worrying about, will you have a labor of factory workers in the factory, because their entire factories are going to be robotic, right? Elon Musk is talking about coming up with a society where people will have a choice to work. You will not have to work, but you will have a choice to work, because majority of the factory jobs and everything will be given to the robots. So we are sitting on a very, very different trajectory. But at the same time, it also talks about that this is the opportunity that one will get in 500 years to build businesses. So if you are clever and smart, and if you invest time properly in your education, think from a technology advancement perspective, then you as a generation will be capitalizing the best time in the history we have ever seen. And that is just because you can create things that was not possible to create before with the advancements of technology. So it's an exciting opportunity for all of you. And I really think that the education is going through a fundamental change. And the change is not about just the curriculum, not how you teach, not how you present your paper, but the institution has to completely transform from the top to bottom. We have seen in the presentations before as well, we were talking about different pedagogies. We were talking about how institutional capabilities are equally important right now. How the lecturers, the teachers will have to invest equally on their time as the students will have to do that. So it's a very exciting opportunity right now. I get very excited about it because I think the opportunities that exist for all of you are immense. So all you have to do is to keep learning lifelong and keep building on those skills. So I work, I mean, as I said, my whole forte is international education. I do not do a lot with Indian universities in my past life, but now I'm working a lot with the Australian government, Australian universities, UK universities, and Indian institutions. So we are trying to build up programs, as was mentioned before. We are looking for a collaboration here, that we are looking for programs, we have built up programs which takes this learn, solve, pitch pedagogy and embed into your existing curriculums. Now, when you do that, we have built up programs where the UK and the Australian universities do want that kind of skill set. So we are working on the models where you can study first year at your campus, move to these universities in the second year. You can do up to 2 years here and move to the final year, or you can finish your entire undergraduate program with such programs and only do a top-up 1-year honors in the UK. All the programs that we are writing, because it provides you that kind of a skill that when you go to Australia or UK, upon you finishing the 1 year or 2 years, whatever you have to finish, you will also get work visas, because we want you to work in the foreign context to understand what this internationalization can mean to you and how what you can learn from those environments. So we are building up a lot of models. Education, I mean, the topic today of the conference is, of course, looking at the education from a very different perspective. And education right now, I think we're all very enthusiastic. We're all very, passionate about education, which is why we all are here. I think it's, as I said, it's a great opportunity for us where we are not seeing students as a students, but we are seeing students as a founders, entrepreneurs, and all of you will have to take that role to make all of us successful, because that is where the future is going. I think all of you will probably change 5, 6, 7, 8 jobs in your lifetime. You will produce something, you will invent something, and this is going to happen. So all of you will have to have that mindset. You have to bring that pedagogy. You have to think like that. And we along, I mean, educator and yourself, we have to work together, make sure that we navigate through these technology advancements and make sure we have a solution that we bring that is defensible. We should be able to defend our solution, because tomorrow, I think the way these chat GPTs of the world is growing, tomorrow it will be so hard to even find who has done what solution. We cannot keep on putting all the solutions on Turnitin's, right? So it will, in the end, will come down to you that can you defend your solution? And with that hope, we just hope that this technology advancement will help us as education providers to scale a good quality education throughout and help you become a lifelong learners. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for having me here.
We sincerely thank Dr. Malhotra for such an insightful and inspiring address. Your thoughts have resonated deeply and will certainly stay with us as we move forward. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to invite a towering figure in academia whose lifelong commitment to education continues to inspire generations. His wisdom, experience, and enduring passion for learning lend great significance to this valedictory session. I respectfully invite Professor V.P. Singh, sir, to deliver the valedictory address.
मैं आप सभी का संस्था की तरफ से स्वागत करता हूं और नए साल की तो 11 दिन की 11वां दिन है और शुभ माना जाता है। डबल एम के साथ में बैठा हुआ हूँ, डबल एम जो है आप बहुत अच्छा है। और मैं एक बात आप उनसे थोड़ा सा खुश नहीं हूँ जब ये कह रहे थे कि सब काम जो है रोबोट्स करेंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, तो आपको पूछना क्या हम लोग क्या करेंगे? नहीं पूछना था। भाई कुदार चलाएंगे, ट्रैक्टर चलाएंगे, गार्बेज उठाएंगे, क्या करेंगे? पूछना चाहिए कि नहीं पूछना चाहिए? अब लोग चुपचाप जो है वो देख रहे थे, कितने टोन में बोल रहे थे। गुरुवार हमारे जो इकोनॉमिस्ट कहे जाते हैं, बहुत अच्छे इकोनॉमिस्ट, समझे आप, चाणक्य, चाणक्य की जो अर्थशास्त्र है, कभी पढ़ा, कभी एक आध इंच देखा है वो पन्ना, एक आध पन्ना नहीं देखा है। भगवान कृष्ण ने गीता में कहा कि आपका फर्ज इतना ही, मैं एक पेज गीता रोज पढ़, एक पेज पूजा के समय 40 पढ़ता हूँ और करता हूँ, एक पेज गीता भी पढ़ता हूँ। उन्होंने कहा कि कर्म आपका अधिकार है, आपको कर्म करना चाहिए, फल की इच्छा मत करो। अब फल की इच्छा क्या है? रोबोट पे छोड़ दे, पेट्रोल पे छोड़ दे, बिजली पे छोड़ दे, वर्कर्स पर छोड़ दे, कस्टमर्स पे छोड़ दे। ये भगवान निर्धारित। ये भारत छोड़ के चले गए ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, वहां उस समय कुछ नहीं रहा होगा, सब कुछ जाकर इनको मिल गया। भारत में करके दिखाओ ना, सब काम खींचने वाले हैं, आगे बढ़ेंगे तो पीछे खींचेंगे। तो इस तरह के माहौल में क्या सरप्लस पॉपुलेशन ऑफ इंडिया शुड डू? Can the state provide the wherewithals to make you live happily and comfortably? They can't. Can the voluntary organizations do the same? They also can't. Can religious institutions do the same? No. They will say, भभूत लगा के त्रिवेणी के किनारे जो है भगवान का नाम लो। भगवान कहते हैं जो कर्म करेगा मैं उसी की मदद करता, फल देना मेरा काम, लेकिन मैं कर्म देखता हूं और कर्म की प्रेरणा भी मेरे ही माध्यम से आती है, जिसको आप कुंडली कहते हैं, हॉरोस्कोप, कब पैदा हुए, किस ग्रहों के कंस्टेलेशन में उस समय आप पैदा हुए, आपके पिछले जन्म के कर्म कैसे थे, तो इन सब का जो निचोड़ होता है वो आपके जीवन। अब हर आदमी जो है हमारे मनीष जी जैसा तो नहीं हो सकता है, माँ बाप को छोड़ के चले गए ऑस्ट्रेलिया। यहाँ बहुत से श्रवण कुमार है, माँ बाप को छोड़ कर, माँ ने हमें 9 महीना तक अपने घर में रखा, पढ़ाया, बड़ा किया, अब उसको छोड़ के चले गए। माँ कहेगी इसी देश में हम पैदा हुए, हम कहाँ ऑस्ट्रेलिया, आदमी मनीष जी नहीं हो सकता। तो बाकी जो भारत में है उनके लिए क्या होगा, वो मेरा विशेष तौर से आग्रह है आप लोगों से सोचना चाहिए। क्योंकि जो पॉलिटिकल अपरेटस इंडिया में है वो लेग पुलिंग, टांग खींचना, ये तो देश का सौभाग्य है, भगवान कृष्ण का जो है आशीर्वाद है कि मोदी जी जैसा प्राइम मिनिस्टर आए। वो 12 साल होने को है तकरीबन, जो 12 साल में कर दिया मोदी जी ने, पिछले प्राइम मिनिस्टर 50, 60, 70 साल में नहीं कर। एक सरकार की जो विश्वसनीयता है, सरकार की जो स्थिरता है, सरकार की जो भविष्य में देखने की जो है उत्सुकता है, सरकार को देखना कि कोई भी देश भारत में हमला कर, देखो अमेरिका हमारा मित्र होता है, नहीं होता, क्योंकि हम भी फ्री एंटरप्राइज इकोनॉमी है, वो भी फ्री एंटरप्राइज इकोनॉमी। वो अमेरिका ही अब हमें दांत और आंख दिखा रहा दोनों। ये क्या कहेंगे? पूरे विश्व को जो लोग अपने हाथ में, अपने चंगुल में, अपने दबाव में रखना चाहते हैं, उस अवस्था से हम लोग पास हैं। और उस अवस्था को इस हद तक हम लक्ष्मण रेखा क्रॉस कर गए हैं। सीता जी ने क्रॉस किया तो क्या देखा? जो अपहरण हो गया। और कितना भगवान राम जो है सीते सीते करते हैं, लोग क्रिटिक कहते हैं, उनको नहीं मालूम था कि वो सीता हरण हो गई है, अग्नि को उन्होंने ही सौंपा था सीता जी को। तो क्यों ये लीला कर रहे थे भगवान? भगवान राम को नहीं मालूम था कि ये सोने का मेघ कहीं होता है? ये क्यों किया है? ये सब डेस्टिन था। और ये भी आपको बता दूं, बहुतों को नहीं मालूम होगा, भगवान राम ने 1200 साल जो है राज्य की, 1200 years। और भगवान कृष्ण की जो टोटल लाइफ थी 125 साल। अब इस पर भी आपको सोचना चाहिए, रिसर्च करना चाहिए, ऐसा क्यों? भगवान राम का जो अंत हुआ है, वो उन्होंने कहा कि हम अब जा रहे हैं, वहां से विमान आया ऊपर से उनके लोक से, तो जितने अयोध्यावासी थे उन्होंने कहा हम भी चलेंगे आपके साथ। तो लेके गए अपने साथ। आज अमेरिकन हमें आंख दिखा रहे हैं, जो कि फ्री एंटरप्राइज इकोनॉमी के लीडर माने जाते हैं। इंडिया इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द फ्री एंटरप्राइज इकोनॉमी। आज ये सोच के गए बाहर मनीष जी, वहां इतना नाम पैदा की, ये फ्री एंटरप्राइज का ही नतीजा है। और भगवान ने इनको आशीर्वाद दिया, सफलता मिली। यहाँ पर यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज नहीं यहाँ पर स्थापित कर सकते हैं। समझे आप? कितने डॉक्यूमेंट्स देने पड़ते हैं। इतनी टीम आती, 27 साल से देख रहे हैं कि ये पैदा हुए थे कि नहीं, बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट है कि नहीं, क्या शिक्षा इन्होंने लिया है, रोज हर साल। आप ऐसे भी क्या कर सकते हैं? मोदी जी के राज में होना है। जो कुछ इनहेरिट किया कांग्रेस से, उसमें कोई चेंज नहीं। मैं अपना दुखड़ा इसलिए आपके सामने रख रहा हूं कि ये दो जो विद्वानों ने कहा, इससे कहीं आप स्वयं मत हो जाए, बह न जाए। यहाँ पर धरातल को आपको संघर्ष करना पड़ेगा अगर भारत में रहना। अगर जो ट्रम्प साहब के राज में रहना तो फिर बात अलग ही है। हो सकता है हथकड़ी लगा के भेज दे इंडिया में, आपको मालूम है ना, हथकड़ी लगा के भेजा था। तो अपने पैर पर, जो भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा, अपने पैर पर खड़ा होइए। जो आप में सामर्थ्य है, शक्ति है, विद्या है, धन है, सपोर्ट है, माँ बाप का आशीर्वाद, जो भी है, अपने पैर पर खड़ा हो उसी। और वो भगवान ही रास्ता दिखाते, हम आप कुछ नहीं करते, वही रास्ता दिखाते। जैसे आप सपना देखते हैं सोने में, वैसे ही जो एक अंतर से ऊर्जा आती है जो आपको प्रेरित करती है कि आप इसमें करो, इसमें बढ़ो, इसमें आगे बढ़ो। कभी सपने के रूप में भी आता है, कभी किसी गुरु को, जैसे यहाँ पर चाणक्य जी ने बताया आपको। तो इस तरह की जो है, जिस भारत में, जिस संस्कृति में, जिस धर्म में हम लोग रहते हैं, पले हैं, बड़े हुए हैं और अपनी जीविका उपार्जन कर रहे हैं, उसी में जितना सुधार हो सकता है उसको आप लोग कीजिए। और जो यूथ है वो उसके ऊपर बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, दो मायने में बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। एक, जो हमारे समय में था वो आपके समय में नहीं है। हम लोगों को बहुत स्ट्रगल करना, किताबें नहीं थी, माइक सिस्टम नहीं था पढ़ाने के लिए, कोई व्हाइट बोर्ड, कोई इस तरह कुछ नहीं था, सब अपने हाथ से लिखते। आपको कुछ नहीं, आपको हाथ और लिखते ही नहीं है, हाथ डुलाते हुए चले आते हैं, पेन भी नहीं है। शाम को देखो तो, शाम को क्या 3-4 बजे जो है वो चले जाते हैं, वो जो बाजार मॉल पे चले जाते हैं। अरे मॉल तो आपका लाइब्रेरी है भाई, 8 बजे 9 बजे रात तक दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स में जो रतन टाटा लाइब्रेरी है खुली रहती है, अब 6 बजे बंद हो जाता है, सब बत्ती होती बंद। जितने साइंस के डिपार्टमेंट से हम कैंपस पे ही रहते थे, 9 बजे रात तक जितने रिसर्चर्स थे लगे रहते। अब वो डिसिप्लिन ही खत्म हो गया, कल्चर ही खत्म हो गया। तो क्या हम अच्छाई की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं या हम गलत रास्ते पे जा रहे हैं, सोचना चाहिए आप लोगों को। और कैसे दोनों में समन्वय कर सकते हैं, अपना पास्ट और फ्यूचर, कौन सा ब्रिज बनाना चाहिए ताकि हम इस पास्ट से फ्यूचर की तरफ आसानी से पहुंच सके और उसमें सफलता प्राप्त करें। यही मेरा संदेश है, यही मेरा जो है प्रेरणा आपको देना है। और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि इन दोनों के बीच में समन्वय जो है आज की युवा पीढ़ी स्थापित करेगी और सफलता प्राप्त करेगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबको और मेरे साथ की बहुत बहुत जो है बधाइयाँ। भगवान आप सबको सफल बनावे और देश को जो है बहुत शक्तिशाली बनाना चाहिए और बहुत ही स्ट्रांग, जिसको कहते हैं कि कोई भी हमला करे एक भी प्राणी यहाँ का क्षतिग्रस्त न हो, एक भी फैक्ट्री क्षतिग्रस्त न हो, हमारा सिस्टम सब बना रहे। और मोदी जी भगवान करे 100 साल सताई हो, स्वस्थ हो। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू वेरी मच चेयरमैन साहब। सिर्फ एक चीज ऐड करूंगा जो सर ने बोला, विश्व गुरु भारत तभी बन सकता है जब भारत के वासी जो हैं पूरे विश्व को अपना एक कुटुंब माने, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम माने और दुनिया में जहां भी रहे भारत का नाम रोशन करें। चाहे अमेरिका में हो, टॉप लीडिंग सीईओज अगर आप देखेंगे या नासा में देखेंगे या डॉक्टर्स में देखेंगे, लीडिंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैं वो सब इंडियंस ही हैं वहां पे भी। इसी तरह से यूके में प्राइम मिनिस्टर लेवल तक पहुंचे जो है इंडियन ओरिजिन के, पहले जिक्र भी आया जो है। तो हमें सिर्फ भारत की धरती को अपना नहीं समझना है, भारत मतलब पूरा विश्व जो है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम एक ही है। इस विचार के साथ अपने जीवन में आगे बढ़ो।
Very well said, sir. Thank you, Professor V.P. Singh, sir, for that profoundly enriching and thoughtful valedictory address. Your lifelong dedication to education and your continued zeal for nurturing young minds have truly inspired us all. We are deeply grateful for your presence and for the wisdom you have so generously shared with us today. As we stand on the precipice of concluding this enriching journey, it is time now to distill the essence of our collective wisdom. To guide us through a concise yet profound summary of the myriad thoughts shared during this conference, I invite on stage our esteemed rapporteur, Ms. Prakriti Mishra.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Where is your Josh? Good evening. So we are at the end of the session now. क्या हुआ? So we had the session from 10th January to 11th January, and the session started with the inaugural session. The inaugural session was on the theme National Development, Role of Educational Institutions, and it was conducted with great enthusiasm and academic dignity, marking a meaningful beginning to the event. The welcome address in the inaugural session was delivered by Professor H.C. Jain, Principal, Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, University of Delhi. In his address, he highlighted the pivotal role of higher educational institutions in nation building through quality education, research, innovation, and social responsibility. Then the theme address was delivered by Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Secretary General Organizing Committee. He elaborated on the conference theme National Development, Role of Educational Institutions, and discussed how universities and colleges contribute significantly to economic growth, human capital formation, innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. The session was further graced by the presence of eminent academicians as guests of honor. Professor Nachiketa Singh, Principal, Shamlal College, University of Delhi. Professor Anil Kumar Singh, Director General, DSPSR. The keynote address was delivered by Professor Sunil Maheshwari, Professor, Department of Accounting and Information System, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, USA. Subsequently, Delhi Business Review, Volume 26, Issue 2, was formally released by the chief guest, symbolizing the institution's commitment to academic research and scholarly publication. So a big round of applause for our DBR. The session further featured an address by Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, co-founder and managing director, AA2IT, who emphasized innovation, entrepreneurship, and the importance of bridging the gap between academia and industry for sustainable national growth. The chairman's address was delivered by Professor B.P. Singh Sir, former head and dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. He reflected on the evolving role of educational institutions in policy formulation, research excellence, and capacity building, underscoring their contribution to national development. At the conclusion of the session, the vote of thanks was presented by Professor Mahesh Sharma, Director, DSPSR, who expressed heartfelt gratitude to all dignitary speakers, organizers, participants for their support and active participation. The next, we had the industry session on the topic Future Ready Workforce, Industry Expectations on Skill Development. The session was conducted successfully under the able leadership of Shri Beni Kinha, Sir, as the session chair, and panel speakers, Flight Lieutenant Sangeeta Pathak Bansal, Major General Dr. Gajinder Singh, C.A. Rajat Malik, Rotarian Manish Alag, Mr. Tanuj Varshne, and Ms. Sarika Kaushal as the panel speakers. The industry session was highly informative and interactive, offering valuable perspectives from diverse professional backgrounds. The discussions reinforced the need for a holistic approach to education that integrates technical skills, soft skills, leadership qualities, and entrepreneurial thinking. The session successfully sensitized students and academicians to current industry expectations and encouraged them to work towards building a future-ready workforce. Then 4 technical sessions were held on 10th of January and 1 technical session was held today on 11th. On 10th of January, the first technical session was on the topic Technology in Education for National Development in the Age of AI. The session chair was Professor Ravindra Rana. Keynote speaker was Professor Aditya P. Tripathi, co-chaired by Professor Rajnikant Verma. The papers presented were by Mr. Rivat Kumar Dhakal on the topic Between Political Akhada and Market Failure, Understanding the Decline of Nepal's Public Higher Education and Strategies for Trust Recovery. Next, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Meena on Students' Engagement and Generative Artificial Intelligence in Higher Education. Next, by Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma on Artificial Intelligence in Greed Marketing, a comprehensive analysis of sustainable consumer engagement. Next, by Dr. Nisha Dutt, the role of artificial intelligence in education and business operations, opportunities, challenges, and future direction. Next, again, by Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma, AI-driven digital preservation of India's manuscript heritage. Next, by Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma, role of artificial intelligence in e-commerce models and its challenges. Next, by Ms. R.T. Dhingra on decoding India's DAO landscape, artificial intelligence as a catalyst for reform. Next, by Vidhan Garg, redefining mental health support through artificial intelligence. The technical session 2 was held on the topic National Development, Role of Youth, Women and Farmers. The session chair was Professor Arvind Kumar. Keynote speaker was Professor Kumar Prashant, co-chaired by Professor G.S. Popi. The papers presented were by Dr. Meghna Agarwal on the topic Cultivating Sustainable Innovation in Higher Education for National Development. Next, by Ms. Prakriti Mishra on Legal Empowerment of Women in Advancing National Development, a Constitutional and Human Rights Perspective. Next, by Jyoti Bambani Jiswani, Examining Challenges and Contributions of Youth in National Development. Next, by Ms. Bindu Mol T, From Classroom to Nation Building, How Learners' Motivation and Attitude Towards Language Influence Their Development. Next by Ms. Anshi Aswal, Innovation as a Catalyst, Drivers of Technological Advancement in Organic Farming. Next by Ms. Khushi Datta, From Homemakers to Business Leaders, Analyzing the Growth and Barriers of Women Entrepreneurs in Digital India. Last by Ms. Kishamya Trikha, on Changing Paradigms of Financial Competence Among Young Adults. The third technical session was on the topic research paper presentations on contemporary issues, accounts and finance. The session chair was Professor Sunil Maheshwari, keynote speaker Dr. Rakesh Gupta, co-chaired by Professor Monica Bansal. The papers presented were by Dr. Sunil Maheshwari, Impactful Sustainable Investing in NSE listed ESG indices. Second, Dr. Abhay Singh Chauhan on demographic dividend and economic growth, cross-country evidence from a balanced panel. Next by Dr. Shelly Gupta on the silent shift in financial services, consumer intentions towards embedded finance. Next by Dr. Rupina Popley, an empirical study on students' absenteeism and measures to improve the quality and quantity of attendance in educational institutions in India. Next by Dr. Pooja Kumari on financial literacy and sustainable finance in India. The fourth technical session, which was held online on contemporary issues, was session chaired by Professor Hamid Saremi, co-chaired by Professor Rana Singh. The papers presented were by Dr. Vishakha from psychological capital to public trust, by Mr. Shubham Gaur on digital financial innovation, a comparative study of rural and urban India. Next by Dimpy Jindal, a predictive early warning model for identifying slope instability in surface coal mining sites using intelligent decision support system. Next by Dr. Meenakshi Kaushik, leading the way women entrepreneurs as architects of India's socio-economic transformation. By Ms. Namrata Chadha, Sustainable Waste Management, a global analysis of technical innovation, policy framework, and the transition towards a circular economy. Next by Dr. Pooja Kumari on the role of green fintech in promoting sustainable finance. Next by Mr. Surjeet Kumar, an empirical analysis of the Global Competitiveness Index and its sub-indices using panel data models. Next by Ms. Mehak Deep Kaur on education quality as a driver of national development. By Ms. Ishita Kashyap on From Cash to Clicks, a comparative study of payment methods and digital payment challenges in rural and urban India. Next by Ms. Shreya Garg on role of fintech platforms in shaping working women's perceptions of retirement planning. Next by Dr. Archana Singh on the role of artificial intelligence in education for national development. Next by Ms. Komal Rathi on how subcomponents of the global gender gap report shape India's gender equality. Next by Ms. Rashmi Malhotra on teaching as a viable career option for the youth. Last by Mr. Sundar M on strengthening project governance for sustainability in Indian MSMEs. The last technical session 5 on research paper presentation on contemporary issues, general management, was conducted today. The session was chaired by Professor Vijita S. Agarwal, co-chaired by Professor Ritesh Bharadwaj. The papers were presented by Professor Shubham Pal Singh on innovations in rig rehabilitation, by Mr. Ribat Kumar Dhakal, false positives and real consequences, by Mrs. Varsha Bhatnagar on reconceptualizing leadership in a changing world, by Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma, securing challenges in industrial cyber physical systems, by Ms. Rosie Lima on bridging the gap, how information literacy shapes digital fluency and remote work skills, by Dr. Nisha Dutt on carbon emissions and their influence on India's health profile, by Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma on workplace gaslighting and manipulation, by Anubhav Mishra on impact of social media influencers on students' decision-making ability, by Ms. Kriti Sethi, the role of emotional intelligence in enhancing academic efficacy among university students, by Ms. Tanya Singhal on green marketing, by Ms. Yukta on student perception and satisfaction towards NEP 2020, by Mr. Naman Kamra on game theory in business and trade wars, by Mr. Naman Kamra on impact of mandatory corporate social responsibility under the Companies Act 2013 on social development in India, by Mr. Naman Kamra on government initiative and policies, by Ms. Priya Goyal on educational institutions as catalyst of national development, by Ms. Komal Sehrawat on the role of higher educational institutions in promoting cyber security. This was the last paper. I request all of you to please give a round of applause for everyone who had presented the paper and all the dignitaries. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Prakriti. We now call upon Dr. Hemkant to announce overall performance appreciation of students for the batch 2022-25.
I am pleased to announce the toppers of last year 22-25 batch. First, Miss Anjali. She got 9.27 points, 27 points CGPA and got secured first position in BCom honors. Next one is Manish Sapra. He secured second position in BCom honors 22-25 batch. Manish Sapra. Okay. Third one is Mr. Rahul Ahuja. Rahul Ahuja. He secured third position in. Please give big round of applause. Parents,
Parents may also join announce.
yes, sir. Parents, please join. Parents. Now, next one is BBA batch 22-25. Mr. Saksham Bappar. He secured first position in BBA. He got 9.275 CGPA and securing first position. Saksham Bappar. I'm pleased to announce. Sir, इनका राहुल आहूजा के बड़े भाई गौतम आहूजा भी यहीं से ग्रेजुएट हैं. Now he is working in Canada. Next one is Miss Diksha Srestha. Diksha Srestha got second position in BBA. Third one is Devansh Arora. He got third position in BBA, having CGPA 8.824. Thank you very much.
I request the dignitaries to please stay there for the next round of awards. So now comes the pivotal moment in our valedictory session. It is time to recognize and celebrate the outstanding contributions that have illuminated our technical sessions. I now invite the diligent Dr. Mukta Katyal to announce the best papers from each technical session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So for technical session 1, technology in education for national development in the age of AI. So second best paper award for Professor P.N. Singh, second best paper award goes to Mr. Vidhan Garg, student of Delhi Public School, R.K. Pura, on the paper titled Redefining Mental Health Support Through Artificial Intelligence. Vidhan, you're there? Okay. For the first Om Prakash Best Paper Award goes to Dr. Mukesh Kumar Meena, Assistant Professor, Delhi College of Arts and Commerce, University of Delhi, with co-authorship with Ms. Neelam Sharma, Research Scholar, Cluster Innovation Center, Faculty of Technology, University of Delhi, Delhi. Paper title is Students' Engagement with Generative Artificial Intelligence in Higher Education, Ethical Reflection, Learning, Autonomy, and Human Development Perspectives. For technical session 2, National Development Role of Youth, Women and Farmers. Professor P.N. Singh, second best paper award goes to Dr. Meghna Agarwal, with co-authorship with Professor Monica Bansal and Mr. Akashdeep Singh. He is a research scholar of Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, University of Delhi. Paper entitled is Cultivating Sustainable Innovation in Higher Education for National Development, Youth, IPR and NEP 2020. Dr. Meghna, Professor Monica Bansal and Mr. Akashdeep. Anyone? Okay. Professor Om Prakash Best Paper Award goes for Technical Session 2, Miss Anshi Aswal, Research Scholar of School of Business Management, Doon University, Dehradun. On the paper entitled Innovation as a Catalyst, Drivers of Technological Advancement in Organic Farming. For technical session 3, research paper presentation on contemporary issues, accounting and finance. Professor P.N. Singh, second best paper award goes to Dr. Pooja Kumari, with the co-authorship with Ms. Kashish Gupta, student of DSPSR. Paper entitled Financial Literacy and Sustainable Finance in India, Evidence from the Banking Sector. Professor Om Prakash Best Paper Award goes to Dr. Shelly Gupta and with Dr. Santroop Tanwar on the paper entitled The Silent Shift in Financial Services, Consumer Intentions Towards Embedded Finance. For technical session 4, online technical session, contemporary issues. Professor P.N. Singh, second best paper award goes to Dr. Pooja. Pooja ma'am, please wait. Dr. Pooja Kumari and Miss Nisha Sharma on the topic role of green fintech in promoting sustainable finance. Sir, again for the next technical session. First paper, Om Prakash, Best Paper Award goes to Mr. Surjit Kumar and Miss Ankita Mishra. For technical session 5 on general management, Om Prakash, Best Paper Award goes to Miss Kirti Sethi, student of Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, on the paper entitled The Role of Emotional Intelligence in Enhancing Academic Self-Efficacy Among the University Students, a Systematic Literature Review. Professor P.N. Singh, second best paper award goes to for technical session 5 is Mr. Anubhav Mishra and Miss Prakriti Mishra for paper entitled Impact of Social Media Influencers on Students' Decision-Making Ability. So now it's a time for overall best paper, late Mrs. Shushila Singh, overall best paper award, and along with the cash prize of rupees 5,000 goes to Dr. Rupina Popli, Assistant Professor, Army Institute of Management and Technology, Delhi, with co-authorship with CA Rajat Malik, Vice President, Finance Operation, HSBC Bank, on the paper entitled An Empirical Study on Student Absenteeism and Measures to Improve the Quality and the Quantity of Attendance in Educational Institutions in India. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, Kangana, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mukta. Heartiest congratulations to all the award winners, and thank you to our respected guests for doing the honors. With this, we call upon Professor Manish Sharma, Director, DSPSR, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to the Honorable Chairman of the institution, Professor B.P. Singh, Honorable governing body members, Honorable Chief Guest, respected guest of honor, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, esteemed speakers, delegates, faculty members, researchers, students, dear participants, and all my faculty members and staff members of DSPSR. It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the valedictory session of the International Conference Day 2, National Development Role of Educational Institutions. At the outset, I express my sincere and profound gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Manish Malhotra ji, for gracing this session and for sharing valuable insights that have enriched our understanding and reinforced the core theme of this conference. On the other hand, we are deeply thankful to our guest of honor and distinguished dignitaries for their esteemed presence, guidance, and constant encouragement throughout the conference. What we have learned today, two things. Honorable Chairman sir said कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भुङ्क्ते संगतो कर्मणि. Do your level best and leave the God forest. तुम कर्म करो, फल की इच्छा मत करो. And Honorable Secretary, Organizing Secretary of the conference, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh said, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. पूरा का पूरा जो विश्व है इसको एक परिवार की तरह मान के चलिए. और ये हमारी विद्याएं हैं जो बहुत पहले से चली आ रही है. कल के सेशन में बहुत कुछ सीखा हमने. अजय सर ने तो दिखाई, साथ के साथ में हमारे जो बाकी जो स्पीकर्स थे बहुत कुछ बताने की कोशिश की. Basic moral values have been eradicated by so many people, by so many foreigners. I'm not going to quote anyone. जो चीजें खो गई है उनको लाने का टाइम है, वापस लाने का टाइम है. मनीष सर ने भी बताया रोबोटिक्स के बारे में. कल हमने एआई के बारे में कल से सुन रहे हैं, सब कुछ है. चेयरमैन साहब ने बहुत अच्छी बातें बताई. Not everything is based on AI. अगर सब कुछ AI कर देगा, रोबोट सब कुछ कर देंगे, तो हम क्या करेंगे? This is the question. We need to make balance in between human beings and the machines. Anyway, our heartfelt appreciation goes to all the keynote speakers, plenary speakers, and session chairs, whose scholarly contributions throughout provoking discussions and global perspectives made this conference intellectually rewarding and meaningful. I extend our sincere thanks to the international and national delegates, academicians, researchers, and participants who actively contributed through paper presentations, discussions, and interactions. Your participation has made this conference a true platform for knowledge sharing and collaboration. We gratefully acknowledge the support of our patrons, governing body members, Professor B.P. Singh, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Professor Anil Singh, advisory committee members, sponsors, and collaborators whose vision and encouragement were instrumental in the successful organization of this conference. I would like to place on record our appreciation for the organizing committee, faculty members, administrative staff, technical team, student volunteers, and especially the Deen Dayal Upadhyay College team for their dedicated efforts, coordination, and commitment which ensured the smooth conduct of all the sessions. As we conclude this conference, we hope that the deliberations, ideas, and recommendations that emerged over these days will translate into meaningful actions toward strengthening the role of educational institutions in national development. Finally, I thank the audience for your active participation and valuable presence, and I wish everyone a safe journey and continued success in all your academic and professional endeavors. With these words, I formally conclude the conference and thank you all once again. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor Mahesh. With this, we conclude the conference, and I request the audience to please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे Jaya 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 He.
All the participants who had presented their papers, please collect your certificates before going. The certificates will be given over here. Please be seated and collect your certificates.
सर्टिफिकेट लेना है
हाँ पहले अभी प्रेजेंटेशन है 2 मिनट में अनाउंस कर रही हूँ फिर आ जाना मैं अनाउंसिंग तो सीधी For technical session 1, Rebut, Gopal, we having Rebut, Gopal, Mukesh Kumar Meena, Neelam Sharma.